Hello and a very warm welcome to Full Volume. My name is Alan Lynch. I will be your podcast host and producer. It's very nice to have you along. We're fully up and running now. I don't know where you found us or where you're listening, but you can get this podcast across all the different platforms now. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Prime, etc. So if anybody you know wants to tune in, if they have a smartphone, it's really, really simple to listen to Full Volume. And to those of you who've already found us and are listening, thank you very much. Really, really appreciate it. Okay, lots to get through on this month's podcast. So let's start off by telling you what's coming up over the next half an hour or so. DJ Paulette dropped in a couple of weeks ago to speak to me. Her book is part of the Black British Book Festival. She's coming in to chat to us about her brand new book. I took some time out with her to talk about her career and about her life here in Manchester and, of course, about the book. So we'll be kicking off today's podcast with that chat with DJ Paulette. Then we'll be doing our monthly branch out. This month we're staying within Central Library. Archives Plus, which is basically a fantastic place. If you're looking to find a person or somebody from your past, or perhaps have a look at a map of a street from 100 years ago, this is where you come. We have pretty much everything you'll need. We'll talk to Alison Gill and Malcolm, who are archivists here at the library, about a brand new project. And also we spoke with Jenny and Michelle, who are also archivists, about a day in the life of an archivist and exactly what they do. We'll have a book review as well with Oliver Hume. Now, Oliver Hume is the grandson of one of our staff members here. And what a character, a lovely kid, really fantastic. I hope I'm going to be able to get him to come on again or maybe do some regular book reviews for us. He reviews his favourite book, which of course is Harry Potter. So we'll have Oliver on a bit later on. And then, of course, we'll wrap things up like we always do with What's On with myself and Gary. Okay, so let's kick things off. This is the March edition of Full Volume. Paulette, thank you very much for coming in to talk to us. We've been shooting the breeze here for a little bit.
We have been talking about life, the world and the universe because there's a lot to talk about.
There is. Well, for those listening, we do have a little bit of history. I was a host on The Exchange on Gadio about 10 years ago, and you used to come in and we're on the panel. So we've had many discussions in the past. Tell me about the book. So what, if someone reading the book, what are you hoping they take from it? Because obviously, we know you came up in a time when it wasn't, the norm for not only a black girl, but a black girl to be DJing in a club, a young black girl. So
in a queer club.
What do you think's changed? And what advice would you give 19-year-old Paulette if you could skip back and say something to her?
I think what I would say, the advice I would give 19-year-old Paulette is believe in yourself, believe what you want to do, and even if that isn't what everybody expects you to do what, you have to follow what you want to do and how you want to do it and not be thinking like, oh, this is expected. Don't do what's expected of you because you will be miserable, you'll resent it, it might not work out that well, or you might just end up relatively happy doing not what you want to do and you might spend your life like that. That's fine, some people might want to live like that, but I would always pressure people to do, not pressure, but encourage people. And I think that's what the book does do, is to just strive for what you want to do, how you want to be and how you want to live. Because I think more than that, it's not just about the work of it. It's not just about the earning money. It's about finding yourself and who you are and what your beliefs are and being strong enough and not being afraid of articulating what those things are.
Yeah. And I think also there's a saying, and it's true, that if you find a job that you love,
it's not like work. I am so enthusiastic and still so curious about my job, and I'm still so curious about music and people and writing and all of that, that there isn't any moment of the day where I feel bored. That moment or that instinct to get involved, that is the driver for me in everything. I will find any way, which is what I would encourage 19-year-old me to do. and to keep doing more than I actually did it, is to get involved, get your hands dirty, meet as many people as you can, you know, just forge those kind of connections and links.
Yeah. So 19-year-old Paulette, and then we're not going to say what age you are now, all those years in between. Has it really changed? Is it easier for a girl now?
I wouldn't say it's easier, but there are more women doing it. It never gets easy because you can still look at lineups. I'm the only woman on it.
And how does that make you feel then?
Well, I comment on it now. I don't just accept it as being, you know, I don't just take the money. Now I will say, oh, by the way, your lineup's got no women on it.
Is it because there are less women in the game? Because I see a lot on YouTube and stuff, and I'm watching shorts and things, some fantastic female DJs out there. Is it because there's less women doing it, or is there still an element of the old boys club about it?
Not even old boys, it's just a boys club. It really is. There's more boys doing it. And the reason why, you know, there's more boys doing it is because they see boys doing it, because women still don't really see women getting the gigs enough for them to be encouraged to follow suit, which is why it's really important for people like me, Bless Madonna, Annie Mac, you name it, Jaguar, Little Sims, Jam Supernova, Taja, Afro Doja. It's really important for black women like Ray to not just to keep going, just to do that thing and do that thing in their own way.
So listen, it's been brilliant talking to you. Before you go, just let's reiterate, the paperback's out soon, right?
Yes, the paperback is out on April the 29th, Tuesday, April the 29th.
Fantastic. It is a really brilliant read. And you're coming back to the Central Library in March, right?
March the 29th, just before the book launches for the Black British Book Festival. It's the biggest Black British book festival
by far
in the world. It's huge. It's a huge event, and I am very honoured to be a speaker there. And I think I'm being interviewed by Cascabay.
Oh wow! So how wonderful to have it at our lovely little humble venue here.
Well, humble, what a spot! It's like the mini Royal Albert Hall, the Central Library. It's similar architecture.
I know we were talking about how special it is for you. Yeah, it is really wonderful. But listen, fantastic to see you. Thank you, Paulette. It's been wonderful to talk to you. You're a pleasure as usual. You look amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
You get younger, I think, rather than older, because it's 10 years since I've seen you, and you look younger.
I do, because I'm happier.
Thank you very much to DJ Paulette for taking the time out to come in and have a chat with us. Her book, Welcome to the Club, is out now. It's a brilliant read. And if you're interested in hearing more from Paulette, she's going to be here at Central Library as part of the Black British Book Festival on March 29th. So put that in your diaries. Okay, let's move on then. This month's branch out, we're staying right here at Central Library. We're going to focus on Archives Plus. So let's start with Malcolm Cohn and the lovely Alison Gill. They are archivists. They have a brand new project which has just gone live. It's called images.manchester.gov.uk. And it's a website hosting some fantastic images from all across the decades in Manchester. There's a lot of stuff on there. So if you like looking at pictures, this is going to be heaven for you. So they took the time out of their busy days to come and have a word with us and tell us all about this new venture, images.manchester.gov.uk. So let's hear what Alison and Malcolm had to say about it. Tell us a bit about yourself, Alison. And before we start, tell us how long have you worked here at the Manchester Central Library, and tell us a bit about your role.
I'm Alison Gill. I've worked here for just over a year now in Central Library, but I've actually worked for Manchester Libraries for many, many years before that. And I've kind of hopped out of archives and into libraries and then back out of libraries and into archives again over a number of years, probably going back to 2005, which is giving away my age. So my role is the Heritage Archives Manager. So I'm sort of manager of the team of archivists here at Central Library. And we work with the Archives Plus Partnership. And we're also partnered with the Local Studies Library for Manchester as well. So,
Wow.
so that's me, and that's what I've been doing.
So you're a busy lady.
Yeah,
Sounds
yes.
like it. And Malcolm Cohen is here as well. Malcolm, tell us a bit about yourself.
So I'm the Cool Image Collection Project Officer, which I think is the longest job title I've ever had in my life. And I've worked at Manchester Central Library for just over a year now, and my main responsibilities has been to build a new local image website, to manage a group of about 15 volunteers, and to produce new content to go on the website as well, be that new images and new blog posts and new stories to share.
Well, I've had a look at the website. It does look fantastic. So, Alison, tell us about the project. How's it gone, and are you happy with everything so far?
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. It's really, really good.
I was talking to you last week. It sounds like both of you, it's kind of a passion project as well as everything else,
Yeah.
because you just seem really keen on it, and that's great. So what about you, Malcolm, in terms of your input? Did you guys get to come up with this idea? Were you asked to sort of come up with this, or how does stuff like this happen? Can you tell us how a project like this gets off the ground?
Well, it starts out with a kind of a need to, I guess, revamp and we were very our local images collection is very well beloved, sort of as part of the city's heritage by many, many people, not least of which is the library staff, but lots of other people as well. So, but it's been running for many, many years, and it's as technology has advanced, there's more things you can do online now. So, and that's always been a bit of a sort of struggle to keep up with the kind of advancing, really. So, what we wanted to do was devise a project which would be funded, but we would enable us to be able to digitise a huge chunk of pictures, photographs that we haven't yet been able to get to, but also to have a brand new website that would be able to do more things, have more functionality, and have just a lot more sort of fun things around it, really, that we could do. So that's how it began. And so we made an application to the National Lottery Heritage Fund as part of their Dynamic Collections Fund. And that's kind of aimed at being able to develop something that is changing all the time, but it is kind of really important to make it fresh and new and develop it. So, and also engage with some volunteers and do some more public events and activities around this to publicise the collection. So that's where it kind of all began.
And tell me, Malcolm, so what can people expect to find when they go on there? So if I go on there today, give us an idea of what kind of images are on there.
Yeah, it's all sorts. I think of all the practice searches I've done on it, there's only one street in Manchester that I couldn't find a single photo of, so I'm fairly...
In the whole of Greater Manchester?
The whole of Manchester City Council area.
City, okay.
I
Wow,
think
that's still really
outside
impressive.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. Outside of there, it gets a bit more sparse, but you can still find different images of Stockport and Salford and Wigan and things like that, and Altrincham and Trafford. In terms of Manchester City Council area, I'm pretty sure every single street has been photographed at least once.
That is incredible. And can people, so is it an interactive website? So if somebody, say I'm at home and I think, oh God, I've got an image like that, or I've got this wonderful picture of a person or a place, can I get in touch with the library and say, I've got this image, do you want to include it into your archive?
Generally speaking, on this particular project, we've only got the capacity to sort of add in the images that we've already got.
Okay.
And these images have come from the Manchester Town Hall Photographers Department. So back in the day, I mean, there's a little bit of kind of history to how the collection evolved. Back in the day, the Town Hall Photographers Department would go out to every pothole that was found in a road or every street that was being CPO'd, compulsory purchased orders for demolition, slum clearances, that kind of thing, or a hedge that was over sort of shadowing a road, and they would have to photograph it to establish what exactly was wrong so that they could send the right person out to go and fix it, basically.
Wow, that was someone's
job. So that's how the images
Yeah.
came around. But then as the years have gone by, more and more things have come along, and more events have been photographed, and more sort of things to do with civic visits and dignitaries arriving in the city and twinning and that kind of stuff. So there's lots more information that's come in. So, but yes, it is interactive in the sense that people can send in their descriptions, their memories and their thoughts and feelings about the photographs that are on the site, and we can add them to the collection and use that to improve the cataloguing data.
Now, before we get to your favourite image from the website, because I've asked both of you to come up with what you think is your personal favourite image, before we do that, Malcolm, tell me about the functionality of this new website, because it differs a little bit from anything else we've seen before here. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. In comparison to the old website, the digital images themselves are much larger and have a zoom functionality, so you can properly zoom in and see all the intricate details of them. We've got a more simplified and powerful search tool, so there's no more advanced search. It's just you put in your search term and then narrow it down with kind of keywords which are on the side. So that's just two things. And also there's the ability to create your own collection as well. So if you pick out 3 or 4 images that you really love, you can make your own collection of that. So some of the ones we've had is 1920s cars, canals of Manchester, and that's all ones that just people who've worked here have created. And in the future, we're hoping in the next few months to have an interactive map of Manchester on the website with the ability to look at different pinned photos and see photos from different areas really easily.
And tell me, will people maybe now or eventually be able to purchase some of the images from the website? Can they do that now, or is that a plan that you have going forward?
They can do it now, and it's hopefully going to, which is a bit complicated at the minute, but it's hopefully going to become a lot simpler in the next, more simple even in the next month or two.
Yeah. Well, that's great, because I know people, so many people come in, when I'm on with the archives team downstairs, so many people come in asking to buy images and things, and they're always terribly excited about it. So that's a great functionality to have.
But I should say that one of the best things about it is that if you just have to go after a low resolution print, so something not sort of particularly high tech or anything, you can actually just download it for free. There's a big chunk of our images that you can just download for free on that site.
Yeah.
So it's a big part of why we want to do this. We're kind of interested in helping people to sort of really celebrate and explore the collection.
Yeah. And the first start is making it accessible and free,
absolutely.
even better.
Yeah.
So every single image on the local image website right now, you can download a low resolution copy for free and use that, as long as it's got a courtesy from Manchester Libraries marking it.
Wonderful. Okay, well, let's get to the really fun bit then. Of all the images, Alison, do you have a particular favourite? Tell us what it is and tell us about
I have
it.
so many images on this site that I just absolutely love. There isn't a place in the city that, like Malcolm says, isn't represented in some way, but there's some really, really beautiful ones. And there's ones, my particular favourites are the ones that relate to the parks, and Boggart Hole Clough and places like that. Heaton Park has some fantastic images as well. But particularly at the moment, I was thinking, really, the stuff that we've got relating to Chinese New Year and the images on the site that relate to that are fantastic. And there's lots and lots of images relating to the wonderful dragon dances that are going on around the city. And there's a batch of photographs from 1985 showing the dragon that was dancing in the city at that time, and there's some beautiful there's a particularly beautiful photograph showing the extent of all the dancers. Kind of their faces are concentrating so hard on sort of managing their bit of the dragon.
And what about yourself then, Malcolm? What have you gone for?
Yeah, so I've got a photo of Oldham Street. So I feel like the ones I really like are street view images with at least maybe 1 or 2 individuals in it, but not obviously an individual. So this one in particular is of a man crossing the road on Oldham Street. And it kind of looks a little bit to me like almost like Abbey Road, the Abbey Road album cover by the Beatles. And I always look at it and think, it just shows the artistry of the photographer as well. Even if it's a photo that was meant for a very functional work purpose, the artistry still comes through in a lot of their images.
I think Manchester's a lot prettier than people give it credit for. I think so, certainly. And in this aesthetic in particular. Yeah, that's fantastic. So that's just a little bit of a sample of what people can expect on the website then. So it's everything and anything really. Some fantastic images. Remind us again, Alison, of where can people find it?
Google Manchester Local Images. Just Google Manchester Local Images. They will definitely find it. But it's also images.manchester.gov.uk.
Thank you very much to Alison and Malcolm. We'll surely be talking to both of those again in the very near future. And the best of luck with their new project. Like I said, it's images.manchester.gov.uk. Loads of photographs on there. Honestly, go and treat yourself. Now, we also spoke with Michelle and Jenny. They're archivists here at the library. And we asked them both, what is a day in the life like for an archivist at a major library? And here's what they had to say.
Well, an archivist works with archives. That sounds quite obvious, but if you don't know what an archive is, it's historical papers, letters, maps, plans, photographs, other kinds of historical records that are kept because they tell us important things about the past. So we look after these items, we collect new ones, and we help people to access them.
So I'll come to you, Michelle. Tell me, on a typical day from 9 to 5, what would an archivist be doing?
So we're generally answering queries from the public and researchers, academics, so they send us lots of inquiries via email. We're responding to inquiries in our search room, and And then we're also looking after the collections, making them accessible, preparing exhibitions and project work, things like that.
I don't think a lot of people see what goes on behind the facade, if you like, of libraries, whereby people come in and see all the books and everyone milling around, but you guys are really in the background making sure there's lots of stuff that we get to see.
Yeah, definitely. So our role, quite a lot of it is behind the scenes work. So we might be talking to depositors about collections they want to bring in, or we might be doing research, or we might be listing a collection, which is quite a long and involved process, but then that means that collection can then be searched by people that they can find what they're looking for. We do some face-to-face work as well with the public. So we might run a workshop, or we might have a talk, for example, or if people are coming to visit the archives in the search room, then we'll help them. And actually, that's a really lovely part of the job, because we have really extensive collections here. They are vast. There's no way we can possibly know everything about them. And when someone comes in, they might discover something, and then we learn something through them as well. So that's really nice.
I know you've both been here for some time. So of everything that's been donated, what's been your favourite thing that you've stumbled upon?
I guess for me, I specialise in the digital archives as well, and one collection that we have is documenting the council's computer history, and so there is a collection that has these fabulous photographs of this massive computer, and it's being sort of lifted up via a crane and put in through a window, and it's just it's quite interesting to see, because it's gone from, like, we use these iPhones that fit in our pocket, and you used to have to get them through the window. It's
crazy.
That's one of my favourites.
And our phone is probably 4 or 5 times more powerful than that computer would have been. But what about yourself, Jenny?
Well, I've really enjoyed a fairly recent collection that's come in, which is the Marcus Rashford say that again, Marcus Rashford tributes that came in from Withington, when lots of people wrote messages of support for Marcus Rashford after the mural of him that's in Withington was defaced following the Euros final. And what I really love about that collection is that loads of it is made by children. So there's all these really beautiful drawings by kids expressing solidarity and anti-racist sentiment, and just having a voice in that moment and saying, that doesn't represent me, I'm going to stand up for what I think is right. And it's very powerful, and it's quite different to a lot of the more traditional collections that we have here.
Thank you to Jenny, and thank you very much to Michelle. It's time for this month's book review, a special one this month. Oliver Hume dropped in to see us. He's 10 years old and an avid reader, and it's no surprise that his favourite book is Harry Potter. Hello, Oliver.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, you too?
I'm very well, thank you, Oliver, very well. So you go to St Matthew's School in Oldham, is that right?
Yeah.
And a little birdie tells me you're going to be 10 very soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, you're going to review a book for us this month. I hear you're an avid reader. How many books do you read?
Per year?
Say in a month.
About 4 per month.
4 books a month? Wow, that's 4 more than I read. That's 4 more than most people read, so well done. So what is it that you like about reading? What is it? Do you like to transport yourself off to somewhere else when you're reading?
I love to read books because it helps me with my learning at school, so I can get a better job when I'm older.
Oh my days. I tell you, I wasn't saying stuff like that when I was 10. That is really fantastic. So you're 10 now, you're nearly 10 now. So let's fast forward to 18. What university would you like to go to? Do you want to go to uni?
Yeah.
Have you got your eye on a Manchester university, or are you going to take off somewhere else?
I'm staying in Manchester.
Staying in Manchester. Well, look, we'll come back to you in 8 years' time, and maybe we'll see what university you go to then. But listen, that's brilliant. You're obviously quite a studious young kid. That's wonderful. And what book have you brought in for us today then? What are you going to review?
I've bought a book called Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling.
Now, this is the first one.
Yeah,
I think is there 7 or 8 in total?
There's 7, but the last one's a mixture of two books.
Okay, we might review that one when we have a bit more time. But tell us then, right, so what is it about these particular stories? What is it about Harry Potter that you like?
I just love the explanations that they show and how much it tells us about the characters, so you can just picture it instead of looking at it.
And in terms of the wizardry, have you ever imagined that maybe you're a wizard when you're at home?
Yeah,
you do?
loads of
Yeah,
times.
you like making people disappear?
Especially him.
He's pointing to his younger brother who's in the corner. Behaving, actually, I think, isn't he? Although he can't get his jacket off right now. We'll work on that one afterwards. So tell us then, this book in particular, right, who are the main characters and what is the gist of the story?
So the main character is Harry Potter, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger in this one. Well, in all the books, really. So there's a boy called Harry. He's just turned 11. All of his parents died when he was older because of a wizard who cannot be named. And he had to live with his mean uncle, his mean auntie and his mean cousin.
So when you say he died, so was he? Well, who was he living with? Was he adopted by somebody else? His parents died, and who did he go to live with?
He went to live with his uncle, his auntie, and his cousin.
And when does he first discover that he has these magical powers?
Just on the night before his 11th birthday.
Okay, so in this story then, so give us the gist. He's living with his uncle and auntie. How does he end up going from there to Hogwarts?
So another wizard, well, not really a wizard, called Hagrid, he travels to his house. Well, he moved away because there was a load of letters coming in and his uncles and his auntie didn't want to see it. So he came, delivered a letter to Harry in person and gave him a cake, and then Hagrid just went, "You're a wizard, Harry." He was born a wizard in a wizarding family because his parents were wizards. So he's always been a wizard but not known till his 11th birthday. When he goes to Hogwarts, he gets put in his house, which is Gryffindor. He finds a friend called Ron Weasley and Hermione, and they all get put in the same house, Gryffindor, and then they learn magic together and become like a trio.
No, I've seen a little bit of it on telly. There's Gryffindor is one, and then they're quite good, but then there's a bit of evil in there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, so Slytherin's the evil one. That's where the person who killed Harry's parents was in. There's Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw, who are a bit of both. And yeah, they're the four houses.
So, in terms of Harry's story in this book, we won't give too much away. Does he have to fight loads of people?
Yeah, loads of people. But in this one, the only particular one is a teacher who has the person who killed his parents on the back of his head.
Thank you so much to Oliver. Took the time out of his busy day, going to school and stuff like that. Took the time out to come to Central Library here and review Harry Potter for us. I really enjoyed that. He's a smashing kid. And we shall have him back on in the very near future to review some more books for us. So thanks a million, Oliver. Right, well, we've come to the end of another edition of Full Volume. Thank you very much for tuning in. Just before we go, Gary is here again. Gary, how are we doing?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Okay, well, let's just talk to you a few of the things that are happening over the next 2 weeks across libraries. We'll start with another Mystery International film screening.
Yeah, so it's the second time and it's been quite popular. So the idea is that you go to the website, it's on Library Live, and I think there are 4 options and you vote for what film you want and then you go and watch it. So it's on the 24th of March. Doors open at 5:15. Film starts at 5:40. You get free popcorn, which is always nice. And you pay what you can. So they're recommending a donation of £3.
Don't be trying to sneak in chocolate bars and stuff like that. You're getting your popcorn. And that looks like really good fun, though. Last month was quite busy.
Yeah, it was.
Really busy.
Yeah.
Okay, Easter curse coming up as well. I'm going to fly through a few of the things that's happening here at Central Library over Easter. So there's an Italian story time happening on Saturday, April 5th. There is a Greek Easter crafts fair on Thursday, April the 8th. Again, these are both free, just drop in. And this is new, Board Games Club. Are you involved with this? Because it's,
I'm not, no.
I imagine you're a bit of a board gamer.
Yeah, people think I've got chess face, but no.
I think they call you that for another reason. Board Games Club, Wednesday, 2nd of April. That's between 5 and 7 on the ground floor. Now, that's a new weekly board game class session. Try new games, discover old favourites, and make some new friends. friends as well. So that's free, no need to book, just drop in Wednesday 2nd of April. Lego Club is on Thursday the 10th of April. It's also on Tuesday 15th of April and again on Saturday 19th of April. So it's Lego Mania here at the library. That's on the that's on the lower ground floor, not the Lego ground floor, the lower ground floor. And also Little Reads is on Wednesday the 16th and Saturday the 19th of April as well. That's in the Children's Library. And then finally, Easter Holiday Crafts. That's on Thursday 17th of April, again in the Children's Library downstairs. All these events are free. We must warn you, Lego Club is first come, first serve because it is pandemonium down there on Lego days. So get here early.
All right, next we're going to talk about the Death Cafe. It's going to be held in Gorton Library on Thursday the 27th of March from 5:15 p.m. to 7:30. And I think they're really good things. I used to do them in the place I used to work at. So it's for anyone over 18, and it's just there to talk about grief and your experience of grief, which I think is a really, really valuable thing to do for people.
Yeah. Everyone's experience is different, and it's probably great to sit with somebody who's going through something similar, maybe both find your way out of it at the same time. So when is that happening? It's March 27th, is that right?
27th of March from 5:15, and there will be light refreshments. So talk about death and eat a biscuit.
Super, and that's at Gorton Library. Moving on, and finally, we're very excited to announce the reopening of Chorlton Library.
Hey.
It is back. It's been out for a little bit. Tuesday the 1st of April is when it reopens. And there's a whole range of events planned. There's going to be lots of fun and lots of people arriving.
It's my local library, and they've reopened the dome, so it's going to look beautiful.
I have never been to the library, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So there you go, reopening Chorlton Library on Tuesday, the 1st of April. Okay, well that's it, Gary. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And we'll see you same time, same place next month. Goodbye for now.
If you've enjoyed listening to this episode and would like to support all the great activities taking place in Manchester libraries, it's really easy to make a donation to Manchester's Library Trust, the charity that supports lots of our cultural, educational and archival activities. Just visit www.librarylive.co.uk or www.manchesterlibrarytrust.org and hit the donate button. The Trust are also encouraging donations for a new book gifting appeal that's accompanying Read Manchester's See Myself in Books Festival in March. Find out more at justgiving.com/campaign/See Myself in Books.